Marcus Conti reporting. Where are we today? Where are we today? Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Marcus Conti reporting. Good morning, everybody. So we're down here at the Oculus. We're down here at Wall Street, checking out the all the business coming back. The business is banging back in New York, they said. Oh shit, that's what you heard? Is that what you heard? Look at all these empty hotels. The Millennial Hotel down here in Lower Manhattan. Where's all the tourists? Where the hell is everybody? Mark Scotty reporting. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't look good. Look at all the empty space on the street. Look at all the nothingness on the street. I was expecting to come down here and seeing hordes of Wall Streeters rushing back and forth. New York City is now in phase 4 of the recovery. But there's no signs of it. Look. Look what happens when you shut down the bars and the restaurants. Usually you can't even stand over here. You get run over by the Oculus. You stand over here, you get trampled by people rushing here and there. How is it that New York is in phase 4? How is it that New York is in phase 4 in the World Trade Center, one of the busiest areas in downtown Manhattan, is goddamn vacant? Nothing but pigeons. Dogs. It ain't coming back, folks. That's what I'm saying. So let's talk about some news. And I'll take a walk by the I'll walk by Zuccotti Park down by Wall Street as well. I just want to put some things on the record. So the other day I said that the partying out on the street, eating out on the street, where the city says, oh, you could open, no problem. You could open, but you have to stay out on the sidewalk. Right? Right? And I said that eventually eventually people would get run over, right? I said that, right? And it turns out that I was right. So a pickup truck, can't make this up, a pickup truck crashes into outdoor dining area in Brooklyn. All right, you can see the video on the New York Post. 3 hurt, no serious injuries. 1 driver and a couple of tables and chairs thrown to the ground. It's not funny, man. People could have got killed. That's what I said. Right? Lee Wrench Bar in Sunset Park, Brooklyn. Not really a very frequented area in terms of restaurants, but nonetheless, that's where it happened. So the driver was a 22-year-old operating without a license, and he was given a summons for his dirty deed. Ooh. So I told you that there's no examples of it right here, but up in the village, you're seeing a lot of examples of outdoor dining on the street. Now, it sounds like very romantic to sit out on the street in New York City and have a meal and have a beer and have whatever the hell you're doing out there, right? Or you're just sitting there drinking a bottle of water. It makes sense, but the streets are narrow and you're not decreasing the amount of cars on the road. Although there are less cars, the possibility of getting fucking run over was obvious. So you're going to see more of that. So that was my prediction, and Conti is correct again. The psychic has predicted people will be slaughtered in the streets of New York City while they're sitting there having their meal. What's the solution to that? Well, open up. I mean, right? Obviously, open up. Let's walk a little bit. So this is Century 21. This building right over here almost got destroyed during 9/11. This whole area was all fucked up during 9/11. This is just a pile of rubbish, a pile of smoke and rubble the whole time. But the point is, right now, it has sprung back over the years. That was 20 years ago. And now, 19 years ago, and now, nobody. Emptiness. Need I remind you that only about a half a mile away, maybe 4 blocks away, is Occupy City Hall, where people are allegedly still living outside in the street, trying to make some kind of political point. But this is trouble right here, folks. This is trouble, where the greatest city in the world, the greatest city in America, is empty. How does one survive? How does the city survive in this emptiness? How is that possible? How is that possible? How do we just spring back? We don't. So another story. This is interesting, right? So on the note of Occupy City Hall. Oh, you know what? Let me walk over to Zuccotti Park. I'm going to walk over to Zuccotti Park, and I'll tell you the next story in Zuccotti Park, because that's kind of interesting, really. That because Zuccotti Park, it was the scene of Occupy Wall Street, and not even a half a mile away is Occupy City Hall. Do any of these things really matter? Do they have any lasting effect, these Occupy things? Well, I think they do initially. I think that Occupy City Hall has done wonders for police reform. It's made everybody talk about it and focus on it, even the police themselves. Speaking of the police. Speaking of the police. Look at those police. NYPD, the finest, right? They're very, 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 very coy these days. Very in the background. Their presence is here, but not really. Their presence is here, but not really. So again, this is where the two World Trade Center 1, Twin Tower 1 and Twin Tower 2 were, right? And you can see it's all rebuilt now. It's all new. There's the Oculus over there, right? There's a shopping center in there or some kind of thing. That's the old, that's the mosque over there that got so much shit. You remember? Oh, the Muslims, they're coming in, and that's the mosque on right off Church Street over there. Still there. Flying an American flag, still proud. So, so this is Zuccotti Park. Right here, you remember? Zuccotti Park. Uh-oh, they got it chained off. Uh-oh. Am I going to have to jump over the fence to get into Zuccotti Park? I might just do that. I might just do that. I might just do that. There's the rose. 'Cause every rose has its thorn, and every cowboy sings a sad, sad song. Every rose has its thorn. Whoa, whoa. Ah, the birds are being fed again. I like to see that. People are making their way out to feed the birds. Because without humans, these birds would have a hard time eating. You know what I mean? It's balance, right? The balance of nature. Without the humans, without the messy humans eating in the park, there'd be no crumbs for the birds. But someone dropped some birdling. Someone dropped some bird food. So again, there it is. This is Zuccotti Park, the scene of the infamous Occupy Wall Street. And now, 10 years later, no, yeah, 10 years later, Occupy Wall Street was 2011. Now, 10 years later, we have another situation, Occupy City Hall, kind of sort of operating in the same way, but certainly not the same messaging. This one's racist. They're all racist. They're racist. So to combat this is Zuccotti Park, and I have police watching me right now. I just want to focus on that one. You can see how the police are always watching. The police are watching you, watching them. You see them in the little cabin over there? You see them in the little cabin? And now they're aware that I'm watching them. There's always an eye on you in New York City. Say hello to the police. They're just doing their job, I know. But it is interesting. We do have a police presence here. We are a police state. So Trump unleashed federal law enforcement to break apart what he calls a rampage of violence. Quote, Trump, a rampage of violence. He called in the FBI, the ATF, the DEA, U.S. Marshals, and Homeland Security. ATF, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. Huh? So why is Trump so upset? Because violence is breaking out everywhere. Can't you see it? It's in Chicago. It's in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Portland, Oregon. Kansas City, Missouri. It's pretty serious because Trump is calling in federal troops, you heard? And not a lot, maybe 150 in Chicago. And didn't take more than 150 cops to end Occupy Wall Street over here. They dragged those fuckers out by their hair, right? They're banging their sissy drums and all that sissy shit. The police just told them it's time to go, mofo. It's time to get out of the park, right? And they did, right? But so Trump has got 150 troops in Chicago, federal troops, to the tune of FBI, ATF, DEA, U.S. Marshals, Homeland Security. We were wondering what? Send in the feds? Well, there's the feds. They're there. They're there. And Trump calls opposition politicians extreme politicians on an anti-police crusade, resulting in, Trump, quote, a shocking explosion of shootings, killings, murders, and heinous crimes. It's a little exaggerated, I would say. Exaggeration, to say the least, but that's what Trump does, right? That's what Trump does. You got to drill your point home. You got to drill that point home. Look, look at this, we have social distancing. We have social distancing on the bench. Don't sit here. Let's see. This is how New York is trying to figure this out. Don't sit here. And don't sit here. Please sit here. But don't sit over there. And don't sit over there. Sit here. Don't sit over there. Please sit over here. Don't sit over there. Does this make any sense at all? Is this like retarded? One of the most retarded things you've ever seen? A stupid attempt, I guess, to separate humans. To keep humans apart. Keep them away from each other. Stay 6 feet away from each other, God damn it. It's kind of ridiculous, right? It looks like they have a security guard sitting there too. Security guard with a dog. We have a security guard with a dog. I feel very safe. I feel very safe staying 6 feet away from other humans. So anyway, Trump says it's an anti-police crusade, resulting in a shocking explosion of shootings, killings, murders, and heinous crimes. To some degree, there's some truth to that. There is a little uptick in violence, a little uptick in unrest. You know, where does protest become violent? You know, violent terrorism. I think we're seeing some signs of it, but it's not. I don't think it's a pandemic or it's epidemic like Trump is saying. So Lori Lightfoot of Chicago, she's the mayor. Chicago mayor vowed to turn feds away. Her name is Lori Lightfoot, right? And that's who Trump was talking about being an extreme politician. Lori Lightfoot of Chicago said, quote, "Under no circumstances will I allow Trump to come to Chicago and terrorize residents." Wow. So Trump, this is interesting too. Trump also threatened to, quote, "do something in New York if local leaders don't." What does that mean? Watch out, Occupy, they're coming for you. Trump is coming for you. He's going to shut you down. Trump, it says right here, he's going to shut you down. He's ready to do something. So there you go. It's Occupy City Hall. We are occupying. We are remembering. That's what we're doing right now. We're taking a stroll down memory lane to Occupy Wall Street. We have security with dogs and sniffing dogs to keep people away from each other. Is that a security dog for a bomb or to keep people away from each other? Bomb dog? Thank you, sir. It's a bomb dog. It's not a social distance dog. A bombing dog. So it's empty, right? So this is Occupy. If this is Occupy Wall Street, right? Look how clean it is, right? Is that what's coming to Occupy City Hall? The hooligans living in the park, is it coming next? Because I remember that day when NYPD said enough is enough, and they came in and they started chucking bodies out over the fence. And they knocked down every fucking tent and cleaned up every nasty little corner of the place. This is a private park, by the way. It's not city park. It's owned by the good folks inside that building. I think it's Merrill Lynch. That's their building. That is their building. So let's have a walk and see. We're taking the temperature of downtown. This is the most fascinating thing I've ever seen. If you haven't been to New York, I'm seeing this for the first time. I'm wondering if you could actually peel them off. Now, they're on there pretty good. They're stickers. They are on there pretty good. Sit here, don't sit here. Sit there. Don't sit there. Sit here. Sit here, not there. Here, not there. So retarded, right? Why put a fence around the joint if you could just walk right in anyway? That makes no sense. I bet they close the park at night. Close it at night to prevent the COVID. Could COVID-19 fit between that fence? Or slip between the bars? Is that what it's designed to do? Keep out the bug. Keep the virus out. This is something new. Smoothie and bubble tea. I had a shake this morning, but not this shake. I make my own shake with avocado and good stuff. Oh, this is good. Hey, how you doing? How's business? Good? How are you? Looking good, man. Looking good. All we need is people, right? We had some people. Thank you. He wasn't very talkative. Breakfast here. Breakfast here in New York City. We got some bagels. In Spanish. Tamales de pollo con salsa. Da da la 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 la. How are you, sir? How's business? Tough? Nobody wants to talk to me. Nobody wants to talk to me. They're focused. They're focused on their no business. So anyway, not a very talkative bunch. That's okay. I don't want to talk to them anyway. Oh, that's interesting. There's a monument, there's a statue over there. It's a Picasso. You see that? Check this out. See that Picasso? Pablo Picasso. I think it's original. I'm pretty sure. There's another one up on by Washington Square Park. Excuse me. I'm blocking the delivery. Let's follow the delivery man. He's having a better job. At least he's not dodging people. But where's all the people? You see, those vendors are very sad because they know the truth, that their business is shot. There's nobody here. Right? They can't survive with no business. It's just not going to happen, right? Even down this block, there used to be like tables and chairs. A pizzeria used to have tables and chairs right over there. See that pizzeria? And even them, they're not even bothering. They're not even bothering to bring out the heavy hitters, the tables. Bring out the tables. Drag the tables out. So to make it even more absurd, check this out. Another story, right? So Joe Biden calls Donald Trump, this is how ridiculous it's getting, calls Donald Trump the first racist president. Donald Trump's the first racist president. He said it. The way he deals with people based on color of their skin is absolutely sickening. Damn, that's Joe Biden saying that. Quote, absolutely sickening. Now, the notion that Trump is the first racist president is utterly ridiculous. Why? Because George Washington owned slaves. Woodrow Wilson, the 28th president, supported segregation and imposed it on several, federal agencies. And more so, Lincoln in the Emancipation Proclamation, whoever he took over from was extremely racist. So that notion is utter nonsense. That could one argue, and people have argued, is Trump racist? Yes, you could make that assumption based on the fact that Trump calls it the China virus. The China virus. It's from China, right? Chinese people. That's racist. Build a wall. We're gonna build a wall and keep those criminals and rapists out. The Mexicans. Muslim ban. Ban the Muslims. Ban them Muslims. Europeans can't come in here. Is that racism? Yeah, it is. It's discrimination based on. It's not necessarily racism, but it's discrimination based on national origin, and propaganda. To say that call a virus the China virus is utter nonsense when nobody really knows that fact. Right? But nonetheless, Joe Biden has said Trump is the first racist president in America. Trump says, here's Trump's comeback. Trump says, I've done more for black Americans than anyone, with the possible exception of Abraham Lincoln, who wrote the Emancipation Proclamation. And Biden vows in his first 100 days, if elected, which he will not be elected, he vows in his first 100 days that he will address institutional racism. So, how much more silly does it get? Let's keep our walk and talk going. So, Pine Street, Wall Street. Here's the lovely Trinity Church. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but all I see is construction workers. I haven't seen a suit and tie in an hour. I haven't seen one single suit and tie. Have you seen any suit and ties lately? Seen any people with suit and ties on? Where are they? They all went home. They're all in the Hamptons, right? Where's all the suit and ties? Guys, have you seen anybody in suit and ties? It's empty, right? How are we going to make a living if Wall Street can't come back, right? It's crazy, right? Thanks, man. That shit is crazy, man. Say again? Oh, it's okay. Ah, see, this guy's got his act together. He only brought in a few. He's got a few rolls. He's keeping it down to a minimum. All right, there's no action on the street here. This is rush hour. This is 9 a.m. This is when people are rushing to get in. How are you, sir? Rushing to get in and shitty business, right? Very slow. Slow, right? Very slow, right? Yeah. Thank you. I don't really need to ask him to tell that it's slow. I just know it is. I can see that it's slow. It's Trump's fault. It's Joe Biden's fault. Coronavirus fault. No, it's a combination of all of the above. It's the tipping point. It's what Malcolm Gladwell called the tipping point, where things break down all of a sudden. And nobody really knows why. It's a moment of critical mass, the threshold or the boiling point, where things bubble over. You can only get the water so hot before it boils. You can only tip a cow so far before it falls on its ass or falls on its side. Right? Right? It's a tipping point. We've hit the point of critical mass where all systems have failed. All systems have broken down. Is really what we're seeing. Bill West, thank you, Bill West, has said in the comments that he brought to my attention that influenza in the 1918-1919 pandemic in the world was allegedly or possibly or quite possibly brought over because of World War I, where soldiers were living in a pit and shitting and eating in the same place, and then influenza gets a head start, right? That's where influenza grew its teeth, right? So what grew it now? Why here? Why now? Why do we have this bug, this virus, and why has the economy crashed? Why? Why has everything broken down? I ask you, George Washington, as you stand there, George Washington, the slave owner, is he next? I got to take him down. Oh no. Founding father of the nation, first president. Oh, he's a racist. Take it down. Take it down. Take it down. Take it down, people. Take it down. You got to take it down. Take it down, people. That shit is racist. That shit is racist. It's racist. Hey, boss, you think that George Washington is a racist? Questionable, right? Not really sure, right? I'm not sure either. They say he owned slaves, but eventually they're going to knock him down. You think they should take down George Washington over there, the statue at Federal Hall? You're not sure? Yeah, I'm asking you.
He's the first president. I don't have no
Yeah, he allegedly, yeah, he did. He owned slaves. He was Democrat versus Republican. There was really no indication of what he was. I think he was a Whig or something like that. But they all owned slaves. They all owned labor. Jefferson, all of them. But what do we do? Do we take it down? Do we shit on history and say, or do we put up nice statues next to it with modern stuff happening?
Was he a Confederate, George Washington?
It was way before that time. There was no left and right. There was no. The Confederates were south
Take
and
those
north.
down, though, man. Take the Confederates down. Leave him up.
Take the
Fair?
Confederates down,
Fair?
leave him up. Okay.
Fair?
Yeah, like Lincoln. Lincoln was northern, and the Confederates were General Lee and those guys, the South. But this was 200. This was 100 years before that. So you say leave it up.
Leave him up.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. So anyway, so Marcus Conte reporting here on Wall Street, looking for signs of life. I am looking for signs of life here. Down here on Wall Street. And I just can't seem to find it. Oh, this is interesting. To protect George Washington. Because George Washington is now a target. He's a target of the rebels. The rebel forces. The rebel forces want to take down George Washington. What's up, guys? How are you? Are you guys protecting George Washington in the federal building? U.S. Park Police. These are U.S. Park Police. U.S. Park Police. Protecting the good George Washington. These are federal police. Are you federal police? These are federal police who do not want to talk to me right now because they are very busy. They are very busy protecting George Washington. They are very busy protecting George Washington because only a block away, the rebels might plan a hit. Because George Washington's a racist. He's racist, he had slaves. That's what they say, right? Poor George. Poor George Washington. Ah, the police. Federal agents on the ground. Those were federal police. Not were, they are. Those are federal police. And here at the New York Stock Exchange, and the reason we came down here today is to show you that there is not a goddamn fucking damn shit going on here. It's empty. It's empty. Where's all the suit and ties? Where's all the action? Go, 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 stock market. So, we have hit a tipping point. New York City doesn't come back. It doesn't come back unless you go full throttle. It's a different place now. So, what becomes of it, I don't know. But we are seeing a couple of signs of federal troops on the ground here. Chicago, and as I said earlier, jokingly, New Mexico, but this is real. They're actually here. They're federal agents. And is that George Washington? Yes, that is George. George Washington. On this site in Federal Hall, April 30th, 1789, George Washington took the oath as the first president of the United States of America. So that's what this building is. This is Federal Hall. This is where the founding fathers got their start. And President George Washington was inaugurated here. Fascinating, right? But as we look down Wall Street, it is damn empty, man. Look at that. Empty. 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 Let's film the dog. Dog finds squirrel. Dog finds pigeon. Hello, dog. Dog finds pigeon. Dog interested in pigeon. Dog saying to himself, do you know if I didn't have this leash on, I would eat you. I would eat you if you didn't, if that guy wasn't holding my leash. I'd eat you. It's another security. Security. Now, he means business. So, Marcus Conte reporting here from the Federalist Wall Street area, searching for signs of life. There is some signs of life, some nightlife action up in the village, but as I said, people are going to start getting run over if you ask them to eat out in the street. It's 90 degrees, drunken drivers, right? Now get out on the street. That's not New York. That's not fashionable. That's not trendy. Nobody wants to fucking sit out on the street. Damn it. This shit is crazy, man. Trump's a racist now. Fucking all kinds of shit going on in the world, man. This shit is crazy, man. I think we hit a tipping point. I think I think the balloon popped. The dam, the water got just high enough and overflowed.